Hey, how you guys doing? I'm X, and I'm looking at the CU7 or the TU19 for the Xbox 360. Obviously, if you guys play Minecraft on console, you know that they're all the same, meaning whether you're on the Xbox One or Xbox 360, they just have minor differences. One is world sizes. So I've been trying to make this video since Friday. Today is Monday. And I kept discovering more and more bugs as I was trying to do the video. So I just wanted to kind of make this a short video, answer some subscriber questions, and then go ahead and show you guys some of the, you know, really bad, you know, bugs in the game. So the first thing we should look at is, the new blocks that were added into the game. For instance, there has been no issues as far as I can tell with daylight sensors. No issues there. Yeah, all old monostables will now not work unless you do some stuff. I've showed it in videos before. Comparators do not get locked up, which is supposed to happen. It basically makes a really cool pulse lengthener. Yeah, if a signal going through a comparator is weaker than the input B, for instance, it will shut it off, whether it's on subtraction or not. So as long as that game dynamic works, we know that comparators work correctly. So in subtraction mode, now if I was to add a signal to it in subtraction mode, it will minus, as you can see, it minuses. So from here we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would minus from this, leaving us with 4, because the comparator counts as a redstone signal. Not that you guys need to understand that, you just need to know that it works. So yeah, here's yet another thing. Now I'm going to just say when they release the bug fix, I'm going to say that they're probably going to be adding in some more to this. This update actually reminds me of a snapshot. And what I mean by that is a snapshot is a preview of what they're going to be releasing, but it's not fixed yet. So yeah, this is supposed to update the block below automatically, which they haven't added in yet. But some of the signs that they're going to do that is here, and that is redstone lamps no longer update, pistons, and they're not supposed to. You can't make torch keys or light keys by using this anymore. But yeah, this has always worked, and that's what's going to happen when they actually fix it. I'm pretty sure they're going to add that in. So just wanted to show you guys some of the stuff. It's a work in progress kind of a thing. Now I tested item sorters. I've tested spawn chunks, the things that keep spawn chunks alive. And spawn chunks, you cannot keep spawn chunks alive on Xbox One or Xbox 360. Before we get all into that, I wanted to show you that some other game dynamics, which would be droppers and hoppers combinations. This is a dropper flop, and it's working exactly like it's supposed to. This is Codecrafted's torch key, so they set the dynamics up in the game to where repeaters do not update pistons directly next to them, so you can get away with this super small torch key. And if you reverse it and grab a dispenser and face it downwards, you can get a really cool fire key that is super cheap because it only requires flint and steel, and it'll give you like something like 2500 on and off. So a really cool on and off switch that's really super simple. So let me see what should I go through next. Let's go ahead and look at item sorters. So they work. I'm not going to go ahead and show you all this, but I did want to show you guys that there's a real big bug that I don't think anybody's really noticed, because who tests this stuff? Yeah, so when I go into the nether and come back out, the timings of how blocks move in hoppers change. So if you were to count this right now, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a little bit, it's not quite as, I'm going to say it's a 4 tick. It's a 4-tick clock, and it's supposed to be a 4-tick clock. Now watch what happens when I go into the nether. Go into the nether, I grab some blocks here, put them in, and then I go back through. First thing you're going to notice is that this is now pulsing when it shouldn't. And if we were to count this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's so fast that now item sorters would actually break. Now this would only happen when you go into the nether, but it's a really weird bug that scares me, to be honest, because these are the kind of things that 4J do not notice. So if you had if you were using an item sorter, it's not supposed to drop 2 blocks in when you do this. It's supposed to drop 1 in. But because the hoppers are so fast, it doesn't work correctly. So, yeah. So another thing is I wanted to show you that a lot of people had commented on my channel saying they were going to build Iron Titans and Iron Foundries. And I'm going to go ahead and show you that you can't make those. You can't. One, your spawn chunks can't be kept alive, which is pretty much, the whole reason for making this machine is to keep your spawn chunks alive. The other thing is you can't place lava in your spawn area, and I have a lava over there which represents how far it can be, and lava over there, which means you couldn't kill your mobs. Now even if you modded it in, you modded and placed lava in there on the Xbox 360 and then converted the world, over to the bigger size world, I'm just going to show you that it still wouldn't work. So if you're on the PC, when it ejects things into the nether, you can see it, even whether you go through in or out. So I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch. I'm going to add a bunch of iron here. As soon as it starts clicking, I'm going to go through, and if this was the PC version, the overworld would stay alive, and you would see it clicking and throwing, the iron out like this. And it's not doing that. As you can see, the overworld shut off. As a matter of fact, when we go back through here, there's going to be a slight pause, and it'll restart the overworld, and I'll show you what I mean. And there you go. So there's a slight pause. It had to restart everything, see what clocks were active, see how many blocks were supposed to go in here, and then it did it. So yeah, that's just 2 of the limitations that would mean you could never make an iron foundry, not unless they fix these things, which they're not really broken. Another thing too is that you can only put so many items into the nether, and I know why. It's 2 stacks exactly. So right now it's ejecting the 2 stacks that I threw in there. Let me go ahead and add 1 more just to make sure that it's going to do that. So once it gets to a certain item limit in the nether, it starts throwing them in the overworld. So these are all things that say you cannot keep your spawn chunks alive. I think people requested this to be able to throw things into the nether, and the reason why is so that you could keep your spawn chunks alive, but that's not what they're doing. So what I'm going to say is that although that sucks, there's a much better iron farm for the 1.6.4, and that would be the Iron Trench, which Tango Tech made. He also made the Iron Foundry. Maybe one day they'll fix that and they'll make it so we can actually keep our spawn chunks alive, but until then... Alright, sorry about the weird editing, got a phone call. So I wanted to show you guys one more thing, and that is, how do I know that the Iron Trench would work on this update? Well, 1, it was designed on this update, and 2, it does not rely upon your spawn being kept alive. So if I was to place a door here, that's a door, and only on the 1.6 to the 1.7, so 1.8 this changes, and I go 64 blocks away, it's just far enough to where this will be recognized as one village. So if I come back over here and I place, say I remove this one and place one here and here, and then do the same on this side, I end up with 2 villages, and I can keep going and keep adding a village each time I do this, which, if I was to do 32 of these, I'd have 32 villages. Now the problem with that is that it requires 21 doors per. So on this side I'd have to have basically 11 doors on each side of this. So by having a piston move these blocks up here, for instance this one, it basically dechains the village from that door. So that's how an iron trench works, and I would recommend making the iron trench because it will work and it doesn't rely upon, keeping your spawn chunks alive. So just wanted to answer your guys' questions. Don't even bother trying to make it, because it's not going to work, So some other questions is there a way to work around this? The only way I can possibly think to work around this is to not use any kind of complicated redstone as far as pistons. You cannot work around this. Basically, you can't go into the nether. If you go into the nether and you come out and you wanted to use an item sorter, you would have to save and quit and then reset the world. I'm going to show you that real quick so you guys can clearly see that the hopper timings are definitely changed. So once you reload your world, it will fix everything. It will fix broken pistons, it'll fix the timing, and you can see here that this is actually working correctly now. The hoppers have slowed down, everything's working good. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys this stuff. It's not like I want it to be this way, and I'm not picking this out to say that they did a horrible job. It's obvious it's a work in progress. So like I said, this is like a snapshot. Mess around with the new mechanics of the game. As far as comparators, there is no difference from the Xbox One to the PC or 360. So if you wanted to mess around with some small contraptions or figure out how to use this, stuff like that, the mechanics of the game, and if you wanted to build something in survival, the iron trench is a perfect thing. So let me just show you that item sorters will now work. Remember me showing you when I dropped in one block it would drop in two? This is a clear example showing you, or proof that item sorters work. They just don't work when you go through the nether. So really bad bug, very bad bug. Yeah, it's one of those ones that I know will slip right under the radar of 4J. Because they don't notice stuff like that. They don't use redstone, or they don't test it, or the guy that does test it shouldn't be testing it, as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have built some of my tutorials in the past, it doesn't mean when they release the bug fix that that's not going to, I'm just going to say that, yeah, nothing works right now. Nothing. I'm just going to show you, I fixed the world, so now pistons will work. All it would take to break your world is to do this. Let me show you. That's it. It's done. Broken. Nothing you can do about it. So you can't build anything. I'm just trying to show you. If it moves too fast, it's going to break your pistons. If you go out of the nether, your hoppers will all change timings, making item elevators stop functioning. Really bad stuff, but it is a snapshot version. I'm just going to tell you, they don't say it is, but it is. It's not completed. Pistons aren't being updated properly. It's not like the, like I said, it's not really like the 1.6.4 just yet. Let's wait for a bug fix. I believe this is an early Christmas present, if you ask me. It'd be nice if they released the bug fix this week. I'd be really happy about that, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and like I said, if something's not working for you, it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means on this update, it needs its bug fix. I don't know if you guys remember the TU10, but they were supposed to give us the ability to dispense water, but all it did was would dispense the water and then throw the bucket out, so it wouldn't actually retract the water. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that. And of course, comment, like, and subscribe. And have a good one. Later.